Alrighty. I can hear myself, so I take my headphones off, and I trust that you can hear me too. Oh man. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a message in the chat. I know you're 20 seconds behind, but welcome to today's show where we will be talking about PTZ camera magic. And oh, actually, you know what? Well, I got one here. So that'll be it. Let's go to that. PTZ cameras. Pan, tilt, zoom. That's what PTZ means. And if you don't have a PTZ camera, it's more affordable than ever before. When I started getting into production, PTZ cameras were multi-thousand-dollar things. Now you can get a little one that I should have had set up before the show. I do. I actually have them set up, but they're elsewhere. I should just have one out. You can get one of these for a couple $100. This is the OBSBot Tail Air. This is a PTZ, although the Z is a little, it doesn't actually zoom as much as it crops in on the sensor or on the 4K footage from the sensor. So it's not really an optical zoom. But for all intents and purposes, this is a PTZ camera. Over here, I have the original Bird Dog P100, venerable P100 that has just been given new life on with a software update that gives it NDI HX. This thing was released, God, more than 5 years ago, and it was full NDI. That's what Bird Dog makes, is full NDI PTZ cameras. And with a software update, it's actually streaming two different streams, full NDI and also HX. And if you are interested in these, I actually have a video specifically on updating this to the new HX, or the Silicon 2, as they call it, software that shows you what the interface looks like, the upgrade process, which is a bit tricky because it's 3 different steps. And also the fact that how you can adjust you can really dial into that, and you can adjust how many frames before a keyframe, what the data rate is, and all kinds of really fun things. So as always, this is a viewer driven show. If you have questions, post them in the comments, because we are live. I am live. This is actual live. I won't be live next week. Thank you all for watching today. I won't be live next week. I'm on a trip. But this week, I am live. I am here. You are here. Post something in the comments. Say hello. Tell me the audio is great. And if you were, I want to give credit to Tarcio Jr., who was first. He actually commented like 10 minutes before the show began. So, first to you. I always love knowing where everyone is watching from. So if you haven't already chimed in the comments, let us know where you're watching from. And if you have any streaming questions, it doesn't have to be specifically related to PTZ cameras or PTZ cameras. It could be related to anything streaming. So from these small, let's see if I can spin this around and get it looking right. From these small OBSBot to the, I don't really want to do this, but it's on, to the Bird Dog. Here we go. I mean, they're not that big different, but there are much bigger cameras out there and much more expensive cameras. You can spend upwards of $10,000 on a PTZ camera. There are weather sealed PTZ cameras for sports arenas and things like that. And this is a little PTZ camera with a built-in battery. That one requires power. This has got Wi-Fi. That one requires you to plug it into a network. So there's lots of pluses to this, and it's like, with NDI, I think it's around $500, give or take, depending on what market you get it from, depending upon if you buy it in a bundle with 3, depending upon your reseller, whether they're having a sale. Don't quote me on prices because there's so many different variables. Around $400 to $500 with the NDI license, which is an add-on per camera. I was just testing different commenting, and as I mentioned, Tarcio was on YouTube. I commented from Facebook. I gave Twitch a shout, and there you go, or Twitter a shout, and and then I came down here, and I was actually able to comment from Twitch, And then I was able to comment from YouTube as well. But LinkedIn, oddly enough, would not let me comment. So if anybody's watching on LinkedIn, give me a comment, because for whatever reason, it just kept saying, would not post. That's just really weird. Let me also give a shout out to the Pocket Video School, YouTube for me today. Yes, YouTube is the streaming service of choice because of Facebook's wonderful outage this morning. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads, what else? I mean, anything under Meta had crashed this morning. But it is back up and running, and I am streaming to both the StreamTEK Facebook page and my personal page on Facebook. So it got back up just in time for today's show. Kevin Jack is watching from Canada. Ray says, had problems earlier, unable to log in, but okay now. Yep, same for me. I have W7 watching from Wisconsin. And Ray is in Muncie, Indiana. Good audio, good. Thank you very much. Oh, Ray also says, we use AV Can's auto tracking NDI camera at our church. Really like using it. Yes, auto tracking is something that has really kind of come into play these days. It used to be a very expensive add-on if it was available at all. And then BirdDog added it to several of their cameras. And now you can get auto tracking built into a $400 to $500 camera. Again, not with a big optical zoom, but still, if it's close enough, in the right situation, this can be placed close enough, and it will track someone as they walk around a presenter in front of in front of a blackboard or a whiteboard or something in front of the room. So that is very handy feature. But the key thing is with the PTZ cameras is that they are it's like having more than one camera. You can have an operator on every camera, or you can put a PTZ camera in a central location and it can deliver multiple shots from a central location. Yuri asks, does the case come with the OBSBot? It does. I have an OBSBot setup video on the channel, and yes, it is a custom molded case specifically for the OBSBot. So you can, if you get it just right, it fits in here. There we go. And then you've got cables and accessories over here, and it zips shut, and it's hard. You can put this in a gear bag with other things, and it's all protected in there. And I think this is really the way to go for stuff. I wish wireless microphones, like those 2.4 gig mics that come with the battery pack, all those little battery boxes that hold the microphones don't hold any of the accessories. Your windscreens, your cables, your lavalier mics, all of that stuff still has to come with the microphone, but yet there's no place in the little battery case to carry it, which doesn't make any sense at all. Here you go. They've made this, this little camera, but here I got my cable, I got my adapter, I can put other things in this little pocket here. If it had filters, you could put the filters over here. It's got a lot of space, and then it closes up. It's got a little divider to keep it from bouncing around in there. And I especially like the fact that the lens is pointed down to keep it protected from anything you might have over here. That's just really smart. So yes, it comes in with a little carry handle and a little zipper. So, shout out to OBSBot. They provided these for viewing for my review that was in Streaming Media Magazine. So, proper disclosure. But that is sort of like the little soup du jour right now in terms of like small, affordable, capable little cameras. There are many ways to control your, I said hide. There are many ways to control your PTZ camera. There's VESA, there's RS, I think 432, 422 controls. I am only going to be talking about NDI today. specifically because I plan on controlling these cameras from 4 different devices, and NDI just makes it so much easier than doing it the other way. Is it possible to give a high-level overview of NDI and benefits? I have 2 videos on the channel for that already. There's a very basic introduction to NDI, and then there's a second, actually there's 3 videos. Then there's a second deeper into the dirt NDI, like more advanced. And then there's a third video, which is actually older, that I actually show you use case. I'm actually on location in several different places using NDI and showing how and what the benefits are. And for me, like one of the benefits with today's production is, thank you for the question, I have 2 cameras set up outside. I have 1 cable running to 2 cameras outside. I'm getting the video back from the cameras. I'm sending control to the cameras. They will have tally lights that will go on and off. You could get audio back from the cameras. 1 cable. 1 run outside the building does all of that for me. And I'm not limited to 2 cameras. I could have a monitor out there back. It's data along a standard Ethernet network. But again, watch the 2 videos I have, the basic introduction and then the advanced. I talk about some of the caveats that you also need to be aware of with NDI as well. Jason, thank you very much. The Nearstream AWT120 wireless mic system has a case for the accessories. First one I've seen to think of it. I think they all have it. And if you'll excuse me, I was just going to walk over and get one. I mean, I did a review of this a year ago, and the thing that bugs me, I mean, I like it. I really like the kit and everything. It comes with this box, which is great. You know, it charges the 2 microphones. It's got the receiver. I crammed in the little windscreens in here, but I also have all of this, which is the 2 lavalier microphones, the interface to the camera or the phone, a backup windscreen, the little clips and everything. And like, this is great, thanks. But I'd love to put all of this in another pocket and only have to worry about 1 box. So I have literally, you know, it comes in this larger box. This is the retail box that includes the battery pack box and space to the side for everything else. And then manual goes on top. And then I pack this, which seems kind of ungainly. Like, this is the retail package. Why would you pack the whole retail package? Well, the microphones don't do me any good unless I can bring all the other stuff. So if I have to bring all the other stuff, I have to put them in I have to put the other stuff in something. I'm not just going to carry it in my pockets or just, draped out or whatever. I want to put it in a pouch, a bag, a case, or something. And since you gave me this box to buy it in, that's what I'm going to bring. So that's what I do. Another mic came in. Another comment came in. Jace, Small Gear Productions. An NDI vMix question. Is there any way to output the overlays alone as NDI with alpha? Actually, yes. NDI does support alpha channel. So you can do a graphics generator, maybe not in vMix, because vMix is not necessarily a titler tool per se. But there are titler software that will output your graphics over NDI with alpha channel. That is literally a thing. So NDI is great. I don't really get into that in the NDI videos. I don't talk about like all the many possible ways to use it. Hey, maybe I need yet another NDI video, because it's just, there's so much that it can do. I think I covered all of the questions. Let me just scroll back and make sure I got everything. I got one here. Times Dreamy Riley. Need some PTZ and NDI magic today. I got a show full of it for you. And I think that pretty much covers everything. So again, user-driven show. If you have questions, throw them into the comments. We are live, and I am happy to change gears and talk about whatever you want to talk about. I have to undo this one. I am using Restream for the comments, and I am using a YOLOBox Pro for the show. You could tell by the way the graphics are made for the countdown, and they do that little weird little broken flicker. But down below me, right here, let us go to our picture-in-picture. Let me change this to overhead and picture-in-picture. I have the Magewell Director Mini. And the reason I am using this for today's show is it has NDI. Moreover, the Magewell allows me to control cameras. And by that, I mean, let me tap. There we go. I have a camera over here. Here's my camera 4, and you can see there's a little PTZ camera icon. That's what you're looking at is the view from this camera right here. It's actually pointing at the light because I moved it. So I tap on that, and then I get this little up, down, left, right icon. And I click on that, and then I get this little thing, and I can move the camera. And it's a little fickle, I find, this controller. Like I'm pushing down, and it wants to go in a certain direction to start. Regardless, hopefully they'll fix that with a software update, because I did not have this trouble when I was doing this camera on the TriCaster. So I can go to preset 1. There you go. Preset 2. Wow, where are you going? Preset 3. No. None of those are right. Well, I programmed in a whole bunch of positions and none of them are coming up right. Now, the magic of NDI is that the positions are stored in the camera. I don't recall. Oh, it is correct because I forced I moved the head, and NDI doesn't know that I moved the head. So let us go back and let's see if I can correct this. Let me go back to here, go to PTZ, go to 1. And this kind of should be down here, I think. And see if that corrects. There's 2, 3. Nope, that's not a good one. 4 and 5. No, let's go to 4. That should be there. So let's see if that correction fixes the rest of them. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, that's good. 3. There's the Bolex. Okay, we're back on the money. So that is not an NDI problem. That's a Anthony grappled with the camera and pointed it in a different direction. And NDI doesn't know that it's set here and then I moved the camera. So it's based on this, not on where I janked the camera around to. So that's on me. Small gear production. Yes, you are correct. I moved the camera. My bad. I was like, wow, that is really off. But that's what we get in a live show. NDI vMix question, is there any way to output the overlay? Yeah, we covered that. Okay, just making sure I covered all the questions. So I have all these presets stored in here and I can access them. There you go. Actually, that should be over there. And let's go to 7. Yoop. There we go. That should actually be down a little bit more. Oops. I guess it's just going to be one or the other. 8. Nope. That should be the stamp. And there we go. This is my setup here. So as you can see, I've got the Director Mini right here. This is how I'm producing the show. Up here, I've got Restream, so I can see the show and I can see your comments. Hey, hello from Atlantic City. Over here, I have an ATEM Mini Extreme, and what that does is that switches what's in that corner over there. That's what I use it for, so because I have many different things coming in, and I don't have a dozen of these multi-views. I have one multi-view and I change what's over there. So that way, if I wanted to, like you can see my overhead shot, or I can go directly to the Director Mini, and this is the view on the Director Mini. So once I select my preset, I can X out of that, and then you can see I've got my inputs. I can go to the camera. I can go to my multi-view in the Director Mini. So this is a multi-view on the YOLO box, looking at a multi-view on the Director Mini. Pretty cool. But this feature that I like on the Director Mini is not just that it's receiving NDI. That's great. But NDI also offers so much more. You know, you've got the tally, you've got control, and you've got presets. And if you can access those presets, then NDI or a PTZ camera becomes way more useful, because it's like, hey, let me show you over the shoulder of what I'm doing here. Hey, also, hey, check this out. I forget which one it was. Check this camera out. I used to shoot with a Bolex. I've got a whole bunch of 16 millimeter film that I've got filmed, and I shot a little sci-fi thing going on, and then go over here, and there's my Philly hat and my Pennsylvania plate and some Telly awards, and go over there, and there's a DV Cam award that I got, and that's not going to be able to focus on. There we go. Nope, almost has it. It's just a little too close. Then we come back out here, and there's my 7-Up spots, and I'm able to like jump between these things, just me. Where this really comes into play is if you have a PTZ camera set adjacent to the stage. You can have an isolated shot of just a presenter, just someone else, or if it's a panel event, you can have an ISO on each one, plus the person, the moderator, asking the questions. And you can also spin around and get a shot of the audience, and another shot of the audience, and another shot of the audience, and a wide shot of the audience, and a close-up shot of the audience. Or if there's a microphone down on the floor for the audience, you get a close-up of that when somebody has a question. And then you go to the wide shot, you spin this around, and then you get that. So now you've got audience shots from on stage in this little thing that doesn't draw a whole lot of attention to itself. You put it off to the side a little bit, and it's able to cover the stage and the audience at the same time. And I've used it. I think the time that I got the most use out of it was a memorial ceremony, and I had it positioned right on stage, kind of in the middle at the end of a piano. And I was able to get the choir close, choir wide, over the shoulder of the person speaking and the audience, and then spin it all the way around and get the person playing the piano, and then get the choir, and then the person who's going to speak a little bit, and then all of a sudden people from the floor started to come up and give testimony. That was not in the plan of the thing. They just started coming up and they asked for a microphone. I spun that around, pointed it down at the audience, and I got that. No other camera could get into that area because it was down on the floor. And this one camera was giving me 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 different angles from one position with one cable going to it and a tripod in the center of the stage. And that functionality is really hard to replicate with anything else. I don't want to have an operator standing in the middle of the stage with a camera and moving around and drawing attention to his or herself standing there. So a little thing like this, you get a little smoke cover over it. It allows you to do things in a discreet way and deliver a whole lot of value for the dollar. That is one thing that I really feel PTZ cameras offer. Plus, they also allow you to delegate work. I can do it all myself, but I don't have to. Let's get into that. So I have, let me go to my phone. Like here, I have a phone. And BirdDog made a PTZ camera app for iOS. I think it's the only one out there at this point. Hopefully there will be more. And I have presets. So here I can say, go to preset 1. Go to preset 2. and if I needed that person to tweak the shot, like the camera moved or something like that, or somebody moved a microphone on stage or something, whatever, I can have them adjust that. I can have them go in and adjust the camera settings. I can have them, like here, I can have them move the camera manually. I can, have them go to presets, and I can give that to someone else to do while I'm focused on my mini, while I'm focused on the show here. Let's go to the overhead. While I'm focused here, and I'm not going to do that, I'm just focused on what the shot is. So I can be looking at the main camera, and then I can see, hey, give me a shot of the hat. And then I see it. Nope, not that one. And there you go. I can see when the hat is there, and then I can cut to the hat. And then I go back to the main shot, and I say, give me a shot of the 3 7-Up spots. And then he's looking for it, and eventually they'll get to know what those, there we are. And when I see it, there we go. I can call it, and I don't have to do it. I can be like, give me a shot of this. Give me a shot of the audience. Give me a shot of the audience left. Give me a shot of audience right. I don't have to worry about doing it. I'm just calling it, and I can delegate it because somebody else is able to control and see that camera on another device. The NDI video from this camera is feeding all the devices at the same time. And these are not the only 2 devices I have connected to it. So that is a really, and I don't have a video cable coming out of it. I just have Ethernet. Small Gear Production chimes in and says, there is an app for Android too. Awesome. Can you comment what the name of the app is? Because I'm an Android user myself. I have a couple Android tablets as well. Love to start incorporating that into my workflow. And if you are new to NDI, the parent company for NDI is called Vizrt, formerly NewTek. NewTek was the company that did it, and NewTek was purchased by Vizrt, so now they're rebranding everything over to Vizrt. Excuse me. And the NDI is sort of broken out onto itself, and if you wanted to go to it, and again, I have several videos on NDI on the StreamTEK channel on YouTube. Just, you can look up your basic introduction, a little bit more advanced information on bit rates and things like that, a how-to video, and then I even have a video specifically on connecting the OBSBot to the YOLOBox Ultra, and as well as the Mevo Start over NDI. So there's lots of different things you can do. Small Gear Production says it's NDI PTZ control. So thank you very much for that. I love, having this dialogue whereby I can then provide that information out to viewers who might be on other channels. Let me close that off. Next up, so I showed basically how to kind of do that on this tiny little device. NDI PTZ control made by BirdDog. Oh, so then it's the same app as I have on iOS. Okay, cool. I was unaware that they made it for both. I thought it was just an iOS app, but it's good to know that it's made for both. And I wanted to go over to my laptop. Let's go to the laptop right here. Now, that is the YouTube channel, if you haven't already checked it out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to the what we call NDI tools, but I have the Studio Monitor app. NDI offers a whole suite of tools available for free. And now I'm looking at that same camera, which I'm looking at here, which I'm looking at on the Director Mini. I'm looking at it on my laptop. And guess what? If I move my cursor, guess what I can do? I can now say, go to input 4. And it's going to go there. I can say, there you go. The feed is a little behind because I've got the full bandwidth feed coming in. You can set it to low bandwidth. You can say, go to 6. And again, it's another way to hand off these tasks to someone else. And this is a $100 laptop. You can give these simple tasks to someone else and just have them run the camera or a couple different cameras. I've done multiple cameras on a laptop, just having different windows for each one, and just tap between the presets. Plus, you can also set all the presets and reprogram the presets and do all of that just with the NDI Studio Monitor, which is available for free as part of NDI tools on ndi.video is the website. It used to be ndi.tv. It's now ndi.video. I don't really know why they changed it, but they did. So that's an example of that. Next up, let me go over here to my TriCaster. And the TriCaster is a purpose-built piece of gear. You can see, let me close this and bring over another keyboard so that I can move the mouse on that one. And you can see right here, that is my TriCaster in a, what is it, a 4 rack unit case. That cable that's plugged into the front of it right here is actually the cable that's taking the picture of it. It's actually, that's HDMI. But over here, you can see I have, here's that same camera. Here's my P100 right here in input 2. And then outside, there's input 3 and input 4. And let me get in front of this so I can better show this. Input 2 has all of these presets, and I get thumbnails. Ooh, the mail's coming. You get to see the mail come to my house live on both cameras. And ooh, this could be kind of cool. Ready? We'll just, let's see if I can come over here and I say go here. Oh, wrong mouse. I have to use the mouse that's actually controlling the, there we go. And it'll go to the presets I have. I guess they're done delivering the mail, so I can go back out to the wide shot. There we go. So what I'm doing is, let me move that cursor you can't see. I'm moving the cursor, and here I've got thumbnails for all of the presets. Now, the OBSBot does not allow a whole lot of presets. I've tried to use NDI Studio Monitor, and once I got to input 4, it started to be a little iffy, although in the TriCaster, the 4 seems to be working. So let me come over here and I can show you on the, let's bring this one up. So this one is now over here, and I can, that's the wide shot. I can go to a closer shot. I can go to the full range of zoom on the OBSBot, and then I can even spin it around so it will show you the P200 that I have sitting right behind it, which is the one that's providing this view. And I can take the P200 and I can say, look down at your little NDI brother. There it is. So now they're looking at each other. And then if I spin around the OBSBot and say, look outside, you'll see it spin around and look out at the other distance. And then if I tell them, I can say, okay, you go over here and you match that shot. So you can see I kind of have them, you know, lined up where I can see both of their shots simultaneously. This is as far as the OBSBot can zoom. And again, it's not an optical zoom, it's cropping in on the sensor. Actually, let me also, I have it set to record both preview and program. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to record a little bit of preview and program so that, let me move this out of the way, so that when I do the edited version of this video, I will cut in these two comparison directly from the TriCaster, so you can compare the OBSBot at full zoom, which I think is this one, and the TriCaster, which is not the TriCaster, the BirdDog P200, which is this one. And you can kind of tell that there's a whole lot more to the P200, because I can then say, go closer. You know what? Go really far down the street. So what you're seeing here is that mailbox in the OBSBot. This is an optical zoom, and it is optically zoomed into that mailbox down the street from a shot. Let me just zoom this one out. This is where we are. So that is the mailbox that I'm zooming into with the P200 here. And you can see that having an optical zoom does really benefit you in terms of being able to reach out and get individual things, as opposed to relying on a crop of the image, because you're going to be kind of limited to how far you can take that crop. Let's go right there. And then go right here. Same angle. They can get the same thing, but there's just so much more that's available when you have a true optical zoom. And I have set this up, not that you needed to see how this was set up, but this is an example of when you have all of these presets right here, that allows you to just sit there and say, okay, I can see my 3 cameras and I can see every potential crop shot that I have available. And you can see how I set so many up on the P100 right here. I had, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 14 shots preset on the P100 till I messed it up by moving it, and then I moved the tripod, so it's way off now. And then I had these 4 shots set up on the OBSBot, and I had these 5 shots set up on the P200, and that allows you to really have that flexibility of having multiple shots on stage, multiple shots in the audience, and then being able to quickly access all of these shots directly in your software. And again, if I don't want to do this and I just want to see the shots, I can give this task to someone else. Whether it be vMix or Wirecast or any kind of control software, all of these software packages that can control NDI devices also offer the ability to access the positioning for the cameras. So you can hand off control of the cameras and positioning and shots to a camera operator that's not on stage, or one camera operator can oversee 2 cameras. This one go to the audience, that one go to talker 2, this one go over here, that one go over there. And they make hardware controllers too, so you can quickly tap camera 4, go to preset 2, camera 1, go to there. OBSBot actually makes a hardware controller that I definitely recommend, because it is the fastest way. I'll hold it up really close. It is the fastest way to switch between cameras and presets. Trying to do it via software other than TriCaster, or where you can lay it all out in front of you, but trying to do it all on a device like this, where you have to go between camera, open up the PTZ, then select the thing. This makes it so much faster to say, I'm on camera 2, select camera 1, position 2. Select camera 3, position 2. Now, this is limited to 3 cameras and 3 presets, which when you see what's available in a TriCaster or a higher end piece of software, you can see over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 16 different presets are able to be laid out directly in front of you. And if you need more than 16 presets on a camera, add a camera. Yeah. And I can go between, in this, wrong mouse again, sorry. If I go over here, I can actually choose different workspaces with a different number of presets over on this side, so I can see even more cameras, more sources and things like that. And I can have additional monitors with additional sources. You can see down at the bottom, I can have upwards of 8 sources. They could all be NDI cameras. They could all be with 16 inputs. That's a lot of potential shots coming from just 8 cameras. 8 times 16. Somebody figure that out. I'm not going to do it. But that is a great way to really leverage, as I said, the magic of PTZ cameras to make your production appear to have even more value, because it looks like you brought 5 different cameras, looking at the audience, a wide shot, a close shot, on over here and over there, ISOs of the different people speaking, all from one camera. And then you could just have a locked off wide shot of the stage that covers whenever you're moving the other camera around. So with 2 cameras, it looks like you've got so much more going on. Wow, you had a camera on the audience too. I didn't even see that one. And then you were able to pick up the individual presenters nice and close. That was really cool. You can kind of do the same thing with your OBSBot. If you've got a couple of these planted in front of the stage, and then if you have a couple planted in front of the stage and you have one wide and one close, you cut to the wide shot while the close shot moves over, and then it moves over, and then it moves back, and then it moves back, and then you can cut to the wide shot. And then while this one is on the moderator talking, this one can spin around and get the audience, and get another audience shot, and get another audience shot, and then spin back around and get the wide shot. You've got this flexibility. While you're on one, the other one, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. You have that flexibility to position these things and get all kinds of different shots. Look at the lighting. Not that you're going to do that, but you have that capability. And the only thing holding you back is your imagination as to what you can point these things at. And with a smaller camera like this, the placement of the camera becomes more critical, because with only about a 4x crop, you really don't want to be too far from that close shot that you want. So if you could be right at the foot of the stage, you can get some nice shots. If you're going to be back in the back of the room, you're going to want a PTZ camera with a longer optical zoom to get you that much further in, like I showed you with the P200. That is where the optical zoom really comes into play. And then you really can come upwards of 16 different presets, because you could have, moderator, speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, speaker 4, spin it around the whole stage, 2 shot on the left, 2 shot on the right, 3 shot, 3 shot. Wow, I'm filling this up already. Spin it around, get the audience left, audience center, audience right. There's a lot going on from this one camera very quickly. Pocket Video School chimes in and says, we used 2 PTZs for KissCam at an arena event recently with overlays on. It worked very well. Yes. And I always recommend having, even at least one dumb camera, one camera that's just locked off, that matches up, color wise and everything matches, and you get them look as close as possible. So you always have a wide shot. And that frees those 2 cameras up to point wherever you want, whether you want to use a phone as a camera, because there are NDI apps for phones. You can have that just be your locked off wide shot. It's always there. It's always something you can cut to. Should something happen and all of a sudden, somebody bumped into the camera, or somebody decided, oh, let me just move this over a little bit. Now all your presets are off. Like me. And all your presets are off. Well, it's going to take a little bit of time to click on it, move it back, click on it, move it back, click on it, move it back, and go through and reset all those presets. So you're going to need that cover shot is really going to help you in terms of like having something to just cover your butt. And that is why I really love PTZ cameras, and I love NDI, because the PTZ cameras have that magic. They have that ability to deliver the look of many more cameras than you actually brought. And NDI allows you to access that magic in many different ways. I can access it on my device. I can access it on a phone. I can access it on a laptop. I can access it with an NDI controller, and I can access it in software I can come over there and then just tell it, hey, you know what? Go back to that wide shot. And you go get that far shot. Now, when I set that far off position right there, you can see that there was a truck parked there. It's not there now, but the position remains. And then, go get me a shot of the audience, and spin down here. Then it's going to zoom all the way back. And that could very well be my audience shot. Then give me my wide shot here. And then while that's on the wide shot, I can spin this one around and say, hey, go show me the conductor in front of the orchestra. Spin around and give me the conductor. And here's the conductor waving his baton. And then I can say, okay, great. Now go back to, I cut back to, this shot of the performance. And then I can say, okay, now go back to the shot of the woodwinds or whatever else was playing. And that gives me the utmost in flexibility. And again, I'm doing all of this on a little TriCaster Mini, which is 10 years old. And it is able to access these cameras and deliver this flexibility because of the technology in NDI. In addition to, having 2 video playback decks and multiple graphics buffers and 4 MEs, which I'm not even going to get into. So it's like I got my video mixer down here and I've got another video mixer right here. Oops, there it is. And then I've got another one right here. And then another one right here. And another one right here. And then if that's not enough, I can come over here and I've got a bank of 9 different saved presets. So I could just jump between, session A, session B, session C, session D. So when you get to a tool like this, it's really designed from the ground up to be as flexible as possible and give you so much capability. When you come down here, audio mixer, because I'm getting audio in from those outside cameras as well. There they are right there. Here's my 2 cameras outside. Now, admittedly, there's not a whole lot of sound going on out there, but I am getting audio in from those cameras. And then I've got my graphics, built-in graphics, But again, this is not a TriCaster tutorial. I should make one of those. This is sort of just talking about the magic you can do with a PTZ camera. And given that they are getting more affordable, easier to carry, this is certainly a lot more easy to carry than a couple of these. And they can really level up your production if you have NDI capability in your switching, whether it be an Ultra from YOLOBox, whether it be the Magewell Director Mini, whether it be vMix or Wirecast or Livestream or OBS or any of those tools, or as someone mentioned, where is it? Right over here. There's also another app for iOS, part of the Top Director. That's an iPad app that does NDI. And then Pocket Video School, we use NDI for control, but SDI for iMag feeds on the PTZs. Yes, that is a very great point. Using NDI for control gives you all that flexibility. But using the SDI output, and I'll just spin this around, because these cameras do have SDI, they have HDMI. Even the OBSBot has HDMI. Taking the video out directly keeps you from having the lag. And by lag, I mean it takes time to take the whole frame. You have to wait till the whole picture comes in, compress it, send it over the network, uncompress it. So there's a bit of delay. Usually 2, 3, depending upon how you've got your HX set, could be even 4 frames of delay. Whereas if you take the SDI, as soon as that frame comes in, it's being sent along the way. There's no delay because there's no compression going on. It's literally, I got the video frame, here it is. I got the video frame, here it is. So you're at the most, depending upon what switcher you're going to, whether it's gen locked or not, because this is not a gen lockable camera, you have a frame for resync, but it's definitely going to be a lot faster, a lot shorter lag time between reality and what's on the screen coming via the SDI or HDMI coming directly out of the camera. So that, thank you very much for that. Pocket Video School. NDI for control and flexibility, or even just recording as well, but SDI or HDMI for the iMag feed for the PTZs, because the SDI is going to be faster. Thank you very much for that. So that kind of covers my show today on the PTZ cameras. I thank you all for being here. And if you want more information on the NDI, remember that you can go to the StreamTEK YouTube channel, where you can see right there, there is the more NDI bit rates and licensing. Here is the NDI cameras. I actually didn't put those up. They just put those right there. And you can see the past live streams, the different channels we've got going on, and the Director Mini intro. And see if I can come, no, it's not showing right here, but the basic introduction to NDI is a great first step into NDI. It talks about some of the advantages. It talks about like what it really means to put your video on the local area network, and also some of the things you need to start thinking about, because if you've never dealt with local area networking and IP addresses and static and dynamic and bandwidth, you're going to have to start learning how to put on the IT person's hat in order to be able to properly manage your NDI as you add more. If you're just going to add one camera, it's not so much of an issue. If you're going to go with a complete NDI setup with like multiple NDI cameras and NDI capture from camcorders, and then NDI back out to on-stage monitors and things like that, well, you're going to be pushing a lot of data around the local area network, and you're going to really have to understand what networking setup is at a very deep level. And that's where the video person needs to become an IT person, while also still being the video person and understanding audio and everything else as well. Scroll down, see if we got anything. Video content company Rain Kingelman says, greetings from Holland in your information. Thank you very much for joining us. Good to see we're being seen in Holland. And Pocket Video Schools, thanks for another great show. Oh, well, thank you for being here. And again, if you are, I'm going to go back to this. Also, I write for Streaming Media Magazine. Let me shrink that down a little bit. And Streaming Media Producer, I have a monthly column. I have reviews. There's a review on a really cool tripod from YC Onion that's going to be coming out this week. And I also have the, well, that hasn't logged back in, but there's the StreamTEK page on Facebook, where I post additional information, a little bit behind the scenes information and things like that. That could be fun to sign up to, but not critical, because most everything is coming to the StreamTEK channel on YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And if you want to help me with the hours, you can, sign in and play one of the playlists. That would be great, because I have playlists specifically about the live shows, technology, the gear demos, the conversations series, and we have a whole shorts as well. Don't play the shorts because it's a really short playlist. But I do thank you all for being here. Hey, IDJ Mike has joined us. IDJ Mike is in the house. Good to have you here as well. Although we're kind of wrapping up at this point, I do thank you all for being here for another live show. Once again, I just want to remind you all who are watching this, I will not be here next week. I am out on a trip. I do have the regular content coming that will be published all through next week. And then I will be back in 2 weeks. And I will look forward to seeing you all right back here, same bat time, same bat channel. And haven't yet figured out the topic for the next show, but it will be something that I'm sure you'll be interested in. So thank you all for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.